and reinsert it back in here. Reinserting this pin is pretty straightforward, except one thing you'll need to do is, as it goes past the metal part of the frame, you need to hold the magazine release back because it gets in the way of the pin. Okay. The next thing we need to do is put the slide cover back on. It just slides on straight back like so. These things sometimes are a bit finicky. Something is not engaging. I think there we go. Okay. So the slide cover is back on, and the front cover sort of bushing goes back on. And that doesn't have to be very tight, it's just really just holding on that bushing. Alright, now that the slide cover is back on, the next thing we need to do is put the slide racker tabs back on. This is another one of those things that my daughter with smaller hands and not as much strength in her hands has trouble working. You really have to get a good grip and squeeze in on those tabs and work the slide. So to help her with that, what I did was I found a metric screw that fit in there, and then I drilled out an aluminum sleeve to fit the screw, and the sleeve is just small enough that it fits through this window in the slide cover and recesses the screw enough that it's not making contact with the recoil spring in there. And you want to make sure that's on there pretty tight, because it could work itself loose when the slide is cycling. So now this gives her a little bit more leverage and an easier way to access the slide, or to work the slide. Even with the hammer's back, it's still easier for her to work the slide. And this slide racker idea I got from my open gun. With the open guns, you'll have a Seymour sight or some scope or sight on top, and there's not a whole lot of room to get your fingers in there in the slide serrations to work the slide. And so what a lot of guys will do is run a slide racker here on the right side or on the left side. Typically it's on the left side if you have one of those typical Seymour upright mounts. This is a 90-degree mount, so it's on the right side. In any case, it allows you to get in there and work your slide more readily than it would be for you to try to get your index and thumb fingers back here on the slide serrations. And finally, with the M1, it's a 4-inch barrel. I didn't go with the 6-inch initially because I thought maybe it would be too heavy for her. But after I got this, I looked at the 6-inch barrel upgrade. What it essentially is a longer barrel. Obviously inside it's match grade barrel, and it comes out to about right here. And I was thinking that the slide itself would be that long, and it would add all that weight in front that it would be difficult for my daughter to hold and get a good aim on. But really, the slide remains the same. The barrel's longer, and the slide cover is longer, and the slide cover is made of real lightweight aluminum, so there's really not a whole lot of added weight to it. On top of that, because the barrel's further out here, it adds more of a margin of safety when you're racking the slide with the slide racker, that you're not accidentally putting your finger in front of the barrel. So there's a little bit of a safety benefit for that. So I'll be putting the 6-inch 6-inch barrel on here. And that should be even better for shooting steel. One final thing I want to say about the pistol as it came from the factory is that the safety was actually protruding out the side when it was off safe. So it was actually sticking out here about a 1/4 inch, and it was quite difficult to put your thumb up there, again on top of the ridge, and get some recoil control with the safety on or safety off. I had a tendency to put it on safety when I was holding it that way. So I cut down the slide safety, and I probably took a little bit too much material off. You can see it here. This is with the safety off. If I wanted to engage the safety, you gotta use your pinky to put it back on safety, but it's really not that big a deal. We'll be shooting this primarily for steel from the low ready position, and it shouldn't be a big issue that we should have to put it on safe. We won't be drawing from a holster, so that shouldn't be an issue. Anyways, that is the Walther SP22, the M1 variant with some modifications.